everybody, it's Juanita McDowell from the Real Estate Technology Institute. And welcome to our webinar, 7 LinkedIn Power Tips for Business. Today, we're going to build a little bit of foundation, the big why of LinkedIn. Most people wonder, oh gosh, are you giving me something else to do? Yes, if you're not active and participating on LinkedIn, then yes, I'm definitely going to give you something else to do, but I'm going to give you the why. I'm going to give you the reason why it's important that you join the professional networking family on LinkedIn. And I'm going to give you 7 power LinkedIn tips that I think every real estate professional should know. At its core, LinkedIn is a personalized network of connections. It allows you basically to create your own network around your expertise and then expand around it. So let's say you have this area that you absolutely love and you have a business objective that's important to you. LinkedIn helps you connect the dots with people that can also assist you, people that may be looking for your services. Because it focuses on your work experience and education, people look at you through the lens, or what I will call a professional lens, that defines your expertise in the business world. You can't afford to be without it. Have it built out. If for no other reason, understand that in 2016, very few people say, send me your resume. Really? It's a little bit more than that. I want to see your whole entire portfolio, and I want to see recommendations and endorsements and people that believe and can substantiate that, yes, you are qualified to do the things on your resume. That's what it's all about. If you are new to LinkedIn, new to doing the whole what we call doing business on LinkedIn, let me give you a quick little tip, and this is just for my newbies. Start by going to help.linkedin.com. Even if you're on LinkedIn but you never really explored the site in great detail, this is a great place to start. If you are absolutely brand spanking new, and this is after this webinar, you're encouraged to set up a profile, then click on the Getting Started section of this particular help section, and it will walk you through all the steps that you need to set up your account, etc. And of course, LinkedIn is on, you guessed it, YouTube. And in fact, there's several videos. I like the success stories on this particular YouTube channel because you can go back and see, oh, if they did it, if they were able to use LinkedIn in this way, so can I. So take advantage of some of the videos. Just take a look at some of them, and I think you'll be impressed with some of the results that people have received on LinkedIn. So why LinkedIn? Why should I even bother? Remember that LinkedIn is one of those important spokes that can drive traffic back to your website. And we've talked about this before. I know a lot of RETI instructors have covered the hub and spoke concept, but remember that LinkedIn, like YouTube, like Twitter and Facebook, can help you get traffic back to your website. And that's really the big deal. You want to focus on, how do I convert people to paying clients? How do I get them to my hub and convert them? How do I get their information? The best way to do it is to set up your expertise on your spokes, like a LinkedIn, and that will be a spoke where you're creating content. Maybe you're creating posts, and maybe you're commenting in groups or offering suggestions and providing solutions. All of those things will make people go, what? Oh, who is this? And then they check you out, they click on your profile, and if it's set up properly, you have your contact information, you have your website there, and yes, we get you straight there to that hub, which could be a website or blog or combination thereof. But that's one of the big reasons. Let me give you one more. You find out who you know. And in fact, this has become over time one of the biggest reasons that I stay motivated and I stay active on LinkedIn. Let me give you an example. In 2009, I had a friend that said to me, Juanita, I'm about to quit the real estate business. I'm just not able to handle this. The business is just not coming in the way it used to be. And unless I can work for a large company like AT&T or Coke or something like that, maybe if I could be a reload agent for that big company, then I would be more inclined to stay in. At least I could see some consistent work. And so asking me if I knew anyone with, say, a Coca-Cola was like, oh, I don't think I can help you. But interestingly, and this was a long time ago, I realized that LinkedIn could help me connect the dots. So I went to the search on LinkedIn, I typed in human resources and Coca-Cola, and who would have ever believed I actually found out that I shared a connection with the vice president of human resources at Coca-Cola. And that was interesting to me because, again, it helps me understand what LinkedIn is really about. It's helping you build a quality network. And then once you build out that quality network, you're able to see who you know and who they know. And voila, when I hit the share connection, was shocked to know it was someone I could pick up the phone and call. And yes, they did know and had a relationship with this particular person. That's just another example of why I've always said to people, this is the reason we use LinkedIn. This is the big why. To salespeople, and that includes real estate professionals who sell themselves, a presence on LinkedIn opens the door to connections that might otherwise prove impossible. And that was the best example I could give you. So now let's deal with some more benefits and tips. And we'll start with my tip number 1. When you connect on LinkedIn, make absolutely sure that you connect with everyone you know professionally. Everyone. Because again, you never know who they know. That's key. If you're in any professional capacity with someone, meet them first. You know you're going to be working with them. Send them a LinkedIn request. And here's another tip that most people don't take advantage of, and one reason is because they don't know how. Make sure you tag everyone that you connect with on LinkedIn. See, most people just say, okay, here's someone I'm going to connect to. They connect with them and they're done. And then they've missed out on a big, huge benefit of LinkedIn, which lets you sort and filter your contacts. But you've got to set the tags up yourself. They don't do it for you. So this little hidden jewel is something I'm about to teach you how to do. Let's go to LinkedIn. So when you go to LinkedIn, what I want you to do is hover over my network until you see connections. I'm trying to find someone I haven't tagged. All right, let's go with Joyce. Click over the name. Come down just a little ways. Ooh, want to definitely endorse her, but let's just focus on tagging. And under relationship, you're going to see the word tag. Give that a click. Give that a click. And now you can see how every single person that you connect with on LinkedIn can be tagged. And of course, sort it out later. So let's just focus on this. Now let's just say this person, real estate agent in Atlanta. And now come all the way down. I want you to see if you don't have a tag, this is how you would add a tag. Click add a tag and type in that new tag right here and hit save. And then you can manage tag, which means remove them, delete them. In fact, let's click here so you can see the manage tags. This is where you would actually delete a tag if they're no longer valid, or even edit the tag. Now let me show you a practical use of tagging. Now I can actually find people that I'm looking for by groups. It's like creating a list. So as an example, when you bring up your connections, then come down a ways, you can actually filter now by tag. Then you can pull up these tags and say, find someone by a specific tag. And now you're looking at just that particular group. So this is how you would basically create categories on LinkedIn. A lot of people don't think you can do this on a free account, but you can. All right, tip number 2. Create a fully optimized profile on LinkedIn. Very important. Let's talk about how. First of all, if you're brand new, you're going to go ahead and set up an image, make sure it's professional. If you're already on LinkedIn, check your headline. It's very important. You have 120 characters and they feed into the search engines. So you want your header to match up exactly with how you want to be found. Very important. Of course, you get a header image. We'll talk about that a little bit later because now you have a background image that I want you to take advantage of. But make sure, again, your picture basically is credible and professional. Don't just use a logo. That should be your face. And don't use the same picture you would use for Facebook unless it's professional. You want keywords to create your value proposition. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, some sections that you can include on your profile, and don't miss out on these things. Remember, someone can forward your profile to someone else who's interested in doing business with you or needs your expertise. So this is your opportunity to include things like your certifications, make sure your skills and endorsements are there, education, recommendations. All of those things will give you an all-star profile, which is what you want. One of the mistakes that people make when it comes to optimizing their profile is they fail to include contact information. It should appear in 3 places. You should make sure it's at the top box of your profile, the bottom of the summary. A lot of people miss that, and it's very important. The additional information, another place that people seem to forget. We want to make sure that if someone is interested in what you do, they are not hunting and looking around for, okay, how do I contact this person? Make sure that it is there and available for people to see. And if you don't want to use your cell number, go to Google Voice and get a Google Voice number, but make sure you publish a phone number so someone can pick up the phone and call you. One other thing I want you to do is post regular updates, and I'm going to focus on the word regular. Even if you have to have scheduled posts, if you're using something like Hootsuite and you want to say on Sunday evening, have the next 4 days of posts going out, I'm okay with that. Better than having nothing at all for months and months. You want to stay active and involved. I know you get busy, but you do need to understand that you need status updates on a regular basis. Now, you also need to know that a status update is more interesting when you include things like links or photos or even a video that you have found interesting. And again, it fits in with what you're trying to message out to your connections on LinkedIn. People talk about rich media all the time, and I'm a strong believer in it. And other than videos, there are other things that you can make sure you have top of mind, including SlideShare presentations. Maybe you're attending a professional conference like NAR, WCR. Include photos from those events. Again, it gives the perception that you're active, engaged, and you have both feet in your industry. You can also screenshot published articles, provide links to the article where it's published. Make sure you don't copy and paste the same article, but you can do press releases. There are a lot more options for you, but make sure that you use rich media in your LinkedIn status updates. Tip number 3. Endorsements. When endorsements first came out, a lot of people were irritated by them, but can I share with you a compelling reason why you must use endorsements? Number 1, people believe what other people say about you more than they believe what you say about you. And with that in mind, you want other people to speak for you about certain skills. So it's important that you, number 1, know what those skills are. Get a sheet of paper or get your phone, take some notes, and write down all those skills you believe you are known for and that you have a strong feel about. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to LinkedIn under the skills and endorsement section, and you're going to add those skills. And then when your name comes up, when people bring up your profile, LinkedIn on a random basis will allow people to endorse you for those skills that you've identified. This is important. It's important that you give and get on endorsements, because people will look at your profile and say, oh, I'm about to hire her to do social networking. Has anybody else hired her to do social networking? This is a good place for people to take a glance and see. Take some good time and consider what those things are that you do. As a real estate professional, I would like to see maybe not all of these, but certainly some of them. Just for starters, I would definitely think that you would have some specialty areas, and then on top of that, the standard, sales and negotiation. But spend a little bit of time. If you've been specializing more in, say, foreclosures or investment properties, then you may want to make sure that that is definitely one of the skills that you've added to your profile. Now, I have to emphasize the give. Giving endorsements is also important, and I don't know if you know this, because a lot of people have turned off all of LinkedIn emails because it can get overwhelming, especially if you're part of a lot of different groups. But when you give endorsements, then LinkedIn emails you and says, oh, it looks like so-and-so has endorsed you. I like this because you become top of mind with people. So definitely make sure you give endorsements as well as receiving them. This is so important because not only do people get to see that you have given them an endorsement, but they also see your face, that professional picture, and again, you become top of mind. One of the reasons that you want to give endorsements as well and work with endorsements is because when LinkedIn sees what you're being endorsed for, and these sophisticated algorithms are truly amazing and not something we'll any of us will probably understand unless we're actually a developer for LinkedIn. But what they do is when they see you're being endorsed, say, for speaking and training, and I'm just going to use that as an example, then what they'll do is they'll say, you know what, let's find some potential partners for you. And what I love about that is rather than me go hunting, then LinkedIn will do this for me. I'm in the process of looking for a virtual assistant, and I don't really have to go too far. Why? Because LinkedIn recently said, here's someone you might want to know. So what's interesting about this is all of a sudden I see this person in my sidebar. And one thought is virtual assistant to speakers, trainers, educators. How did LinkedIn know that she would be someone I really need to know? Because they're matching up your headlines. So that's another reason, and they're seeing what you're being endorsed for. So this is a great, again, this is not anything that this particular person had to pay for. She's getting hired just because she's on LinkedIn and she has her profile optimized properly. It's important that you know your target market. I can't emphasize that enough. Know what you're going after, who you're trying to attract in the business world, because then you can create your profile around that. In addition, when you go out looking for customers, you can find out more about those customers using the LinkedIn platform. You're going to find customers based on what you're trying to accomplish and how you go about it. So it's important that you know, again, that target market, and you know what kind of customers you're trying to find, because then LinkedIn will help you decide where you should be on the platform to attract those type of customers. If you're about to come to my house and let's say do a listing presentation, LinkedIn can be used to do research about me. You can go and see information that may be relevant, or if I'm about to hire you to do maybe some reload work, whatever it is, remember, don't take that appointment unless you do research. I was talking to a student one time, she was leaving class and said, well, I'm on my way. She was going to be meeting with the BNI group that she really wanted to be a part of. I said, before you go to that BNI interview, make sure that you take a look at the people you're going to be talking to, because LinkedIn, of course, can tell you a lot of information that might be helpful in that interview. Tip number 4, take advantage of the advanced search. I cannot tell you how many people have missed the golden nugget on LinkedIn. And this tip, I'm going to make sure you don't. The advanced search is the button on LinkedIn that lets you filter. And in fact, here's what it does. It allows you to create search criteria and save results that you can use as the baseline for who it is that you are looking to connect with. Here's an example. Let's say I'm a real estate professional and I'm looking to get some reload business from a company that's just moved to town. I pick up my Atlanta Business Chronicle. It tells me that this company is about to move 200 employees to the Atlanta market. How do I find out who that HR person is that I need to contact? Well, let me show you. I would start by going to LinkedIn and clicking on Advanced. It's a little word, but it's right here. Give it a click. It's kind of hidden. All right, so now look in the left navigation, click on Advanced. I don't know the first name and last name. I'm hoping LinkedIn will tell me. I do know the title though, because I'm looking for human resources. Notice I can choose current or past. I'm going to change that to current. I pick up my Atlanta Business Chronicle and type in ABC Company. I come down the page, location, located in or near. I'll put in the zip code, and you'll notice that I can also look within 100 miles even of this particular zip code, or 50, 75, and then hit search. That's going to bring up ABC Company and the human resources person that may be listed for that particular company. Woohoo! I love it. So I could get more information about that. I could message them, perhaps send them email if I have a professional LinkedIn account. But these are all options. Now come up to the very top and notice that I have the option of saying, let me see if I have any first degree connections with this particular person. You never know. And that way I could perhaps, if I do, call and say, can you give me a connection? Or let's say I'm really active in my Society of Human Resources Management group. I could perhaps click on that group and then see who is connected to this HR contact, which is another reason you want to join groups that will help you further your overall business objective. And you can do that on LinkedIn. Tip number 5, create a company page. It will help you raise brand awareness and educate potential customers. A lot of people have their own personal LinkedIn account, which is great. But if you have a company, if you've incorporated a business, make sure you have a company page as well, and make sure you have a content strategy around that company. You want to include a compelling summary, your products and services, and any photos that represent your company and will grab their attention. Here's how. You start by going to Interest, click on Companies. Type in the name of your company, and then when it comes up in search, then click on Create under the Create a Company page. And that's it. Get started adding a company name. Make sure the email address is a company email address, meaning you cannot use like gmail.com. Verify you're an official representative and hit continue. And you're off to the races. You'll see that you're able to share an update. You'll also get to see analytics to see how many people have clicked on your updates and more. Tip number 6, create scripts for LinkedIn. So let me give you a little bit of help when it comes to being more efficient with connecting with new connections. I will tell you the best example that I have of someone that has created a script, maybe not a script, but I would assume so. He's got a great template and a video to go with it that really caught my attention. This person initiated the connection request towards me, and I actually accepted, and I received this after I accepted. Thanks for accepting my LinkedIn invite. Glad to make the connection online. But here was the most impressive thing. Welcome, new LinkedIn connection, 30-second video. I was like, whoa. And then he goes on to say, I'd love to learn more about your background in consulting and emotion. So now it could have been a template, but he personalized it, including the name of my firm. Very impressive. In addition, that video gave it a click. Why? Because he made a point of telling me it was only 30 seconds. It wasn't going to be a big investment of time, which made me click. And there I got to meet Doug. I got to hear his voice and see his face live. And the video was very professional. I'm thinking, now that's a great example of a script and a video that's meant to impress and basically allows Doug to stand out of all the connection requests that I've received. Now let me give you another one. Take advantage of who's viewed your profile. And Doug Turnbull gave me this one. I love this idea. So when you see that someone has viewed your profile and you read a little bit more about their background and you're thinking, whoa, I'm glad he viewed my profile. You want to connect a little bit on another level with that person rather than just send them a LinkedIn request, which they'll probably accept. But you want to take it to another level and just write them a little note. In addition to sending them a request, attach a template that could be personalized, such as, thank you for viewing my profile. And this could be their name. And then say, hi, I saw you view my profile and I'm reaching out to discover if there's any way I can help you, etc. It's important that you provide this particular template because everybody else just has that sort of boring, I'd like to connect with you on LinkedIn, but it was meant to be personalized. So create the script. So now all you're doing is pasting it into your LinkedIn editor, and then you're off to the races. Tip number 7. Improve your visibility. Very important, you're on LinkedIn, but so are millions of other people. So there are a couple of ways we can do this. Number 1, add a background photo and make sure the background photo covers everything that you're trying to accomplish on LinkedIn. If you've written a book, include the book in your background photo. If I go to your hub and see you have something on your hub, then make sure that that hub may be just continued on LinkedIn. Remember that your spoke, as the one we talked about earlier, LinkedIn is just an extension of your website. And in fact, I see it as an entry point into your website. So it's nothing wrong with making that image in the background very similar to the image that's on your website. Now, how do you do that? Well, you hover over the middle of your page. So you go to your profile page, click on Edit Background. Create LinkedIn post. So important that you actually start writing posts for LinkedIn, again, showcasing your expertise, especially if it's good and you've spent some quality time creating this content. You don't want to do anything that's not professional or has a lot of grammatical errors. It won't have the same impact, nor will people come back and read your post again. To create posts on LinkedIn, go to linkedin.com and click on your profile. Come down until you actually see post and click on write a new post. The first post that I created on LinkedIn really and truly shocked me because I was thinking this would benefit my audience. I did it on work-life balance, and I noticed it gave me over 1,600 followers, one post. In addition, I was asked by a realtor board to actually republish this article in their magazine, and I was invited to do a convention. So again, all of that from one LinkedIn post. Remember, create great content, high quality content, especially in this case, content that didn't need to be edited again. And I think you'll find that you never know who's going to actually be reading it. So that is going to be your top visibility tip. You may be asking, well, what do I write about? Make sure it's practical. Make sure it's data-driven as well. A lot of things are popular on LinkedIn. Let me tell you what they are, but then you need to look at what you do and see how you can all weave it all together. Self-improvement's big, and the other popular topics include things like leadership, management, marketing, customer service, and industry-specific things. So that would be real estate for you. You would look and see what's trending in your marketplace and say, let's write about that. Again, it's about improving your visibility and establishing yourself as the expert in your industry. You never know who's watching or who's reading. And ensure it helps your SEO because, again, you're not only publishing that article on LinkedIn, but there are other opportunities to include it on your Facebook page, on your Twitter feed, etc. You want to make sure people will find your content on LinkedIn and beyond. One last tip on creating the post: make sure you use impactful headlines and images. That's going to be crucial to the success of your story. We want the image to match up with what you're trying to communicate. You'll have an image and headline that should work together, and it will entice members to click on your post from their newsfeed. Very, very important, and make sure it's a high quality image. I purchased mine from freedigitalphotos.net. Make sure you include a call to action at the bottom of your article, and make sure you keep it simple, very readable. And if you have a compelling landing page, remember you can also drive traffic to it with the post that you're creating on LinkedIn. And just as a sideline, oftentimes you're on the road, but you do have your mobile device, so you can add LinkedIn to your tablet or your smartphone. And that way you can manage your LinkedIn account from your mobile device. I want to end this webinar with a quote. You must do something you've never done in order to get something you've never had. If you're not active and involved on LinkedIn, I hope this webinar has motivated you to become so. I'd like to give thanks and credit to LinkedIn.com. I did use their screenshot. I'd also like to thank my friends at LocalVox.com who share their content freely. A great website for great information. And again, thanks to Trevor Turnbull, who gave me that great idea about creating a script. And right now, we'll open it up for any questions you may have about anything we covered today. I'm going to turn this over to my Real Estate Technology Institute partner, who is facilitating this webinar.